Alright, and now we're going to have a build tutorial for the Wither Rose addition that I've got for any Wither Suffocation setup that you might have. This can work in the Gateway Suffocation setups that I am showing here, but you could also potentially build something similar to this in the Overworld down at the Bedrock location, because I know there are plenty of videos out there showing where to find Suffocation locations there. You'll just have to play around with your distances to figure out where to have this thing end up. Anyways, let's get into our tutorial. Alright, so here is some base measurements for you. We are going to build ourselves a containment area down here at the bottom that is 8 blocks long by 4 blocks wide, and so that is the box around it. Doesn't need to be glass, it could be solid blocks. I'm just using glass so you can see inside. And we want that height to be at the same height as our obsidian here, so that our silverfish end up standing right at the opening to the gateway between the bedrock, which is going to be the midpoint of where the wither is. So that's kind of the optimal spot right there. Now in the center of this, the whole floor we're filling up with hoppers, and I'm just making sure that we have plenty of hopper speed to fill this thing up. As mentioned earlier, this thing can produce 20,000 wither roses in an hour if you've got an automatic wither summoning setup like this running. Now, to make sure that our fall damage height is calculated consistently and not with them falling into the hopper, I'm going to put these 3 trapdoors right here, because this lines up directly with where our drop chute is going to be. Now you can move these things around if this platform is not, make sure that it just lines up with this. That placement's not exact as long as it's below your drop chute. You could also just cover your entire floor with trapdoors like this. So in the example here that I've got 2 by 6 area of hoppers. That's just to allow the silverfish to spread out so that they don't start glitching through blocks, because we are allowing a decent number of them to spawn in at a time. Now, going up from here, we want to start at this level, and we're going to start here on this corner, and we're going to go up 10 blocks. Okay, so 10 blocks now is the distance we're falling, and we now have a 5 by 3 drop chute sized area, and right in the center here we've got a wall block, and that's what our allays are going to sit on, this wall block. So we need to go ahead and fill in our drop chute all the way up and down, and we're just going to leave a 1 block high area for the silverfish. So put your 1 block high wall in here, and then build your drop chute. Okay, and then make sure you remember to close off this so that they can't jump out. And for a little extra security against them glitching out, we're going to fill in the edge here so that we don't have any easy corners or anything to glitch out of. Now coming back up to here, we want to have a trapdoor right here and right here. That's way when the silverfish are falling off of this wall block, this trapdoor is going to ensure that they aren't high enough to get that little bit extra fall damage, so all of them are going to survive the fall, and all of them are only going to have that single health when they get down there. Continue filling in your drop chute walls. We're going to put a temporary block right here with some rails, and that's so we can stack our stack our allays on here. If you only use 1 allay, because you don't need that much wither roses, then you don't need to worry about placing your minecart rail down here or your temporary block. This is just to allow you to get multiples in at a time easily. Okay, so now we're going to continue with filling this in another 2 blocks tall. So just keep it open directly above the wall block, other than our temporary blocks, and we're filling it in 2 blocks tall. This is how we're going to get our minecarts into place with the Allays. So now I need a minecart. Drop it here, and since we already dealt with some wall blocks, you'll have a couple made. Let's put a wall right there. We're going to push a minecart into it just a little bit. Make sure that's caught. And now if we get our allay right here, we give it a wall block. I toss one down in that hole. Our allay gets caught in the minecart. So that's how we can get the lays into the minecarts. Then you give it back to me. There, and you see they snap together because you have a rail going on right there. So we need to remove our temporary block. Now, if I remove this here, he's going to sit up on that wall block there, so it can't slide out, so we don't need to worry about that. But I did need to put a dispenser in here, so I forgot about that, but we will put that back in. Just have to remove some blocks around here, get that in. Okay, now I've got 2 allays in. If we wanted a 3rd allay, you go down 1 block, because this is the height that we actually wanted. And I could put in my rails. Minecart. Get my allay in there. You'll see it's sitting up on top, and so we would need to fix that. But it's not going to be too much of an issue, because I'm placing this solid block here anyways, and I need my sticky piston to be pointing down. I'm actually going to put 2 blocks in here. Sticky piston there. Rather than, could have dug down. Could have made my life easier, but I didn't. Okay, now I have my piston ready like this. In order to force these to stack, if you mess something up, do that, break it, and now they're all bunched together nicely. And that little suffocation sound is how you know that you have built this correctly, where you have 2 blocks above where your trapdoors are. Now let's fill this in here so that this can't glitch out when it's bouncing up and down inside that solid block. Okay, now let's work on the redstone timings here. So we're going to take and we're going to build this 3 blocks longer than the drop chute is. We need a solid block right here beside our piston. Put a redstone dust on either side. Then to one side you want another solid block. To one side, sorry. You want a repeater set to 4 ticks with a solid block and a torch. We need 3 comparators running in and out here just for our pulse extender that we've got going on here. And we're going to put in this here. see this is slowly counting down. With just a very brief pause before it starts. Now, if you want this to stop while you're running it, put a lever on top of this, hold it off, and this thing will not repeat next time it lets go. And this is required because the suffocation damage is a little bit faster than the Allays recover their health, still in Bedrock. But doing this way with the suffocation setup also allows us to easily stop spawning in our silverfish when we want to stop, because the potion will last longer than it takes the wither to die. So now all we need to do is connect the redstone up that's going to trigger and power all of this thing. What I like to do is I like to put in a solid block below our dispenser here. That gives me the opportunity to add a hopper and some chests or an auto brewer in here to keep this fed with the infestation potions, and also run some redstone dust right into here. Okay, so let's move on here to our timing system that controls how long this thing will spawn silverfish. I'm going to clean up a little bit around here in the meantime before we start that. Alright, now for the timer, we want to build out from this level here another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and let's just give ourselves a few blocks to work with here. Bit of platform to stand on, and we're going to also build out over here to this torch. So we want to take this power from the torch, and we're going to bring it up 1 block, because that's going to trigger a piston that starts this whole thing. So every time we summon in a wither, it's going to start our piston here. Alright, so we're making a basic hopper clock here. Well, it's not basic. That in there, and we're going to need a comparator on this end and a comparator on this end. Put our solid block there into a repeater, and we're going to start our pillaring up so that we come up beside this one right here, or our staircase up. Now, because we're not going to reach this here, we'll have a little bit of an issue with that, but we also need to invert our signal strength anyways. So what we need is another solid block that we're coming up right here, and we're going to take this solid block, put a torch on it, solid block on top of that, and then now we can use this torch here to keep things locked off when we're not running it. And then just take this down. Okay. I got a little carried away, it seems. That's fine. There. So that we have just our little staircase up like that, right? And then we need our pistons that are going to cycle our clock here. So just some normal pistons, not sticky pistons. One there, and one here on the edge of this redstone dust with our block like that right there. Okay. And then we need to use our output from here, trigger it to go back. And similar to what we did down there in the other tutorial, we are going to use a dispenser right here with redstone torch on it and powdered snow. You could switch this around a little bit and probably use a copper bulb if you wanted to do that as well. And we need our server so that when our powdered snow dispenses, this thing will fire and push that piston back. And now we need, I believe it's 96 items inside this hopper. This is ready to go. Every time we summon a wither, we're going to trigger this, and our clock will start, our silverfish will start getting spawned in. All we need to do is make sure we've got our infestation potions going right here. Now, if you want to use the wither suffocation without getting your silverfish summoning in, you can always just power this piston either with the lever up here or run some other redstone up here, whichever you want. And that will keep this thing from ever triggering. If you were to not use all of this redstone set up here, then this redstone line you could just replace with a button pressed there, and just before you summon in your wither, press that button to start, and place your skulls to summon in the wither if you were doing this fully manually. And then you would still get stacks and stacks of wither roses for every wither that you summon in manually. Anyways, that is the Wither Rose Suffocation Chamber add-on. Sorry, the Wither Rose Chamber add-on to a Wither Suffocation setup. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope that made sense to you all. And I will see you guys the next time around. I've got a few more potion type builds that will be using these Allays and similar setups for weaving and oozing potions, just to kind of complete the set. I'll see you guys later.